And me being noisy, I was actually doing the work. Because I sat next to the table where the teacher was, and I was like, what's going on? And I was listening, and I heard school lockdown. So I was looking at my teacher, and the teacher was looking at me, and they were doing this. And I was like, I was actually, why am I getting goosebumps? This is my story. And I looked at the people next to me. And then I just see one girl, and she's holding her phone, and she's like, Mom, if I ever see you again, I just want to let you know that I love you. And I was like,
what about you being built like a bus driver?
cut the cameras. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you do not know who I am, hi, my name is Faase or Face, whatever you want to call me. Today's video is going to be a little basic, you know, a little chill, not too much, you know, not too much drama, just right. Yeah. So today, you know, I was just scrolling through some photos of my old school, you know, and I was like, you know, looking at them, and all of a sudden I just had a memory in my head. I just had a random memory. I literally had a memory of when my school was in lockdown. And like, that was a scary experience, especially for me. But yeah, so today is just gonna be a random story time of the time I was in school lockdown. Like, I was literally at the school, there was lockdown, and I was there for a hot minute. I was there for a hot minute. Before we get into today's video, make sure to subscribe down below. Like, subscribe, like, go right now. And if you're not subscribed right now, stop, pause this video. Pause this video, because if you're not subscribed, I will be in your dreams. Like I said, I will be in your dreams. Is it done? Thanks. While you're at it, hit that like button. Like, just hit it. Like, just like, it's right. It should be right there. It's like a little thumbs up like this. Turn it gray, or is it blue? I don't know. Press it, please. Thank you. And then while you're at that too, comment anything, literally anything. I just want to see what you guys are up to. You know, we can be besties. We could actually be besties. You know. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into today's video. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and make this fun because, you know, I understand that story times can be a bit long, story times can be a bit, you know, boring. But I'll try and speed this up, try and be nice, quick, and simple. So this school lockdown happened around like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I think it was in September. Yeah, it was definitely in September because I had an English test straight after. Oh my gosh. English test straight after, and it was not good because I was traumatized, and then I had to go do that test. Even more traumatized. Don't mind me, I have a little snack because, you know, I'm gonna be hungry by the time I tell this story. So, I think it was definitely a Thursday because every Thursdays we have this like 40-minute classes, and every Thursdays we finish at 1:50 because our normal time is actually 3:25. I don't know, it's 3:20 something. Well, actually we finished at 4 o'clock because we had the English test, so that's why it was early day so we could get classes done and then like have the test at the end. So I think the first thing I actually had on that day was English, so that was first period. And it was all 40-minute classes, so, you know, it was quick, short, and simple. But yeah, I had English, and then I had contemporary art, which is basically, you know, any art that's like made after World War II or whatever. Then after that, it was recess, snack, whatever you want to call it. And then we had, and then I had VisCon, which is basically art again, but like drawing, you know. And VisCon was our chill class. I liked VisCon, and I remember in that class, I was just sitting there watching this hamster. Yeah, I was watching hamster videos because I think we had a CRT and I didn't want to do any work because if you guys do not know what a CRT is, it's basically a substitute teacher. Yeah. And then after that, I think the bell went and we all had to walk to our next classes, which after VisCon I had history. And history is where I went all down. So yeah, I was minding my business walking to history class. I remember I just got there and yeah, I was just talking to my friends. I just entered the classroom and like everything was going good because it was actually a 40-minute class, like what I said before. We were in 10 minutes of the class, you know, everything was going good, smoothly, nice and fresh, you know. But then my teacher was like, can someone go and get me a stapler from the office, because he needed a stapler. But the teacher wasn't our actual teacher, it was like a substitute teacher too, because most of the teachers were absent on that day. I don't know why. So he asked the whole class, our teacher asked the whole class if like anyone could get him a stapler from the office, and no one like replied, and I felt bad. And then he was like looking around, but because no one was listening to him, so basically he like looked at me and I looked away because I didn't want to do it. And then I was just like fake typing on my laptop. And then after that he came up to me and was like, hi, what's your name? And I was like, my name is Faase. And he was like, do you mind going to the office to get me a stapler? And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't want to actually do it because I was really tired. I just wanted to go home. And then he gave me like this little like out of class pass, because we normally have them, because like, if you don't have that and you're caught outside of the class, then like you'll get in trouble, you know. So yeah, he gave me this out of class pass, and I was just walking out of the classroom into the hallways, and I was just, you know, walking, and you know, everything was going fine. Everyone was just doing their own stuff in their classes. And mind you, this was a 40-minute class. The class was like almost over. I was walking to the first office and I knocked on the door and I was like, hi, I just came to get a stapler for my teacher because there's nothing in the actual classroom. And then the office lady was like, oh, sorry, we don't really have staples right now, but you can always go to the library to go check. And then I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, bye. And then I turned around, closed that door, and I took one step out of that classroom, and my English teacher was in the hallway. She actually walked past me and was like, Faase, what are you doing? Like, can you please go back to class? And I was like, oh, I just went to go get a stapler for my teacher because, like, you know, he needs it. And then she was like, no, you want to go back to class immediately. And then I was like, oh, why? Like, you know, at that point, I was shocked. I was like, okay, that's kind of a bit sus. Like, what are you trying to hide from me, miss? After she said for me to get to class immediately, I was just like, okay, chill out, I'll go. But I actually didn't go back to class. I was a rebel. I was different. Basically, what happened was, after she said that, I was like, okay, I'll go to class, yeah, whatever. She left, and then I was like, I think to myself, I was like, that's kind of a bit weird, because why would she say that, you know? I was actually on my way back to class, but then I was like, I want to get the stapler because the teacher's gonna ask me to go back and I don't want to go back. So then I just went to the library. As I was on my way to the library, I just had a bad feeling and I was like, maybe I should just go back to class because like something bad could happen and I don't want to die. So I turned around and I was walking back to class. I was running. I was like, ding, 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 ding. I was like, girl, let me run. I was on my way to class and like literally I just see everyone in their actual, like I see everyone in their own classes and like they're pulling down the curtains, turning the lights off. They're like, you know, just staying quiet, and I'm like, what's everyone doing? What's going on? I was like, come on now, like be for real. What's going on? I was just standing there in the middle of the hallway looking at them, and I was like, okay, you guys are crazy. Like, what's going on? And I just see everyone's like locking their doors, and then people were just like sitting there quiet. And I even saw the people underneath the desk, and I was like, what? Like, why are they doing that? That's kind of not making any sense. And I was like, okay, let me just mind my business and go back to class. So I was walking, because like my class was basically on like the far end of the hallway, and like, the office was like all the way down there. So basically, I was at the front door of my class. I opened the door. As soon as I took a foot into that classroom, the teacher behind me pushed me. And mister, if you're watching this, Anyway, I felt someone push me and I was like, oh, and I turned around and it was a teacher and I was like, okay, sorry. I went back to the teacher, my substitute teacher, and I was like, sorry, I couldn't get the stapler. The teacher was like telling me to go to class immediately, and then after he was like, oh, okay. And you know, he was like a bit sus, you know. And then I was like, yeah, that's really weird. So I just sat back at my table and I was just thinking like, I wonder what happened. Like, I don't know what's going on. Until some other teacher, like an actual teacher that works at the school, came into our classroom. She turned the lights up and she locked the door and she was telling my substitute teacher like that there was a school lockdown. And me being nosy, I wasn't actually doing the work. Because I sat next to the table where the teacher was, and I was like, what's going on? And I was listening, and I heard school lockdown, and I was like, what? I was actually scared, and I was like, wait, and I was looking around, no one else heard, so I was just the one being like really shocked, and everyone else was just talking. And I was like, what the heck, like this is so crazy. So I was looking at my teacher, and the teacher was looking at me, and they were doing this, and I was like, I was actually, why am I getting goosebumps? This is my story. It was nervous. I was nervous. But yeah, and the teacher was like doing this and was like telling me to be quiet so I wouldn't scare the other kids, you know, or like teenagers, whatever you want to call them. And like, it was like, I was like really shocked. I was like, should I tell everyone? Like, should I be a nosy person? Like, should I be a snitch or whatever? But then I decided to keep my mouth shut because I was like, let me stay quiet. I don't want to get into too much drama. And I was just sitting there like, wow, are we actually in a school lockdown? Like, this is crazy. But then the teacher, he actually went and told the whole class, guys, like, this is a lockdown. We have to, like, you know, stay quiet. We turned the lights off. We closed the curtains. And I was like, damn, like, this is getting real. Some students were saying, it's just a drill, like, whatever, chill out. And I was like, okay, maybe it's the drill, you know? So I sat there, and, like, time went by. And, you know, we're still in lockdown, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, gosh, like, this is a long time. And, like, it was, like, almost 20 minutes of, like, this lockdown. And normally it doesn't go for that long, so, like, I was like, okay, this is not a drill, so it's probably real. I'm just looking around the classroom, and I see, like, different groups of people, and I'm like, what? I'm here in my class, yeah? And I look to the corner, and I see there's a group of boys just working out, doing push-ups, 1, 2, 3, doing sit-ups, doing like sprints, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, take a seat, take a seat, because we're in the middle of a lockdown and you're here working out. Get some help, please. And then I look to the other side and I see people are hiding under the tables, and I was like, okay, I think I'm being a little dramatic, but whatever. Just like looking around even more, and I see there's a group of girls in the corner watching movies, and I was like, okay, y'all do what you want to do, watch movies, period. And then I look to the side even more, and I see there's a group of girls, like in a circle, and they're like just talking and stuff. And then I was just like, okay, you know what, cool, whatever. And I looked at the people next to me, and then I just see one girl, and she's holding her phone, and she's like, Mom, if I ever see you again, I just want to let you know that I love you. I was like, girl, you're doing too much. And then some girl's just like, oh, I don't like this, like, talking about death and stuff is kind of scaring me. And there was the other girl there, but she was just, you know, sitting there, minding her business, and I was like, okay. But, like, it was actually real, guys. I feel like it was real. I don't think it was a drill. Did that kind of rhyme? That kind of rhymed, yeah. I feel like that was real, and I don't know if it was a drill. Someone sign me up, because, like, actually, Nikki, I'm coming for your career. Time goes by, and we're all still sitting there, and, you know, it's real quiet. There's no back talk, there's no talking at all. And I look across from, like, because, like, our classroom is here, and there was another classroom in front of us. And basically, like, it's not even a wall, it's literally glass. Like, it's glass and a sliding door. And I was like, okay, what happens if the person that's breaking into our school, you know, because, like, we're in a lockdown, well, what happens if something happens like that and they just break the glass and we're dead? Our classroom was, like, the first classroom you saw when you entered the building. So we were totally, like, done for. Like, there was no saving us. And the glass wasn't even bulletproof. I look across, and I see that there's just a group of girls, and they're just like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, they're just like jumping around, dancing, and I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, sit down, you know. And I look on to the other classrooms, and there's a teacher like telling me to be quiet and sit down. And I was just sitting there. 2 minutes later, I hear this girl scream, and I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I was scared. I look over, And then I see it's one of my friends, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I just saw someone run past the window." And I'm like, "Huh?" And then I looked, and I didn't see anyone, but I saw the vice principal outside, and he was like walking around. I think he was trying to like shoo someone away. Well, my teacher gets an email from the whole principal, and he says that like we've been in lockdown for almost 3 hours, and we're just sitting there, and they're talking about how in the email the principal is saying that the police is on their way and stuff, but the police never came. So I don't know what happened, or maybe they came during the lockdown but we didn't see because we were in the classes. And then I just look around and I hear that someone's talking about the test and how we can't, like, we're not gonna take the test because like we've been here for almost 3 hours. It went past, because this was our 4th period, and it went past our 5th and 6th period, and basically it was lunchtime, you know. I was sitting next to my friend and she was like, "Wait, I just got like an airdrop." And I was like, "Huh?" I looked, and people were like airdropping photos of like random people. Like it was kind of scary. It was really weird photos. Okay, I'm gonna like skip forward a bit and then come back, you know, to the part that we're actually up to. After this whole thing happened, one of my other friends, they told me and were like, "You know, people were airdropping things," and I was like, "Yeah, I know." And she actually showed me the photo that were airdropped, and I looked at it, and it was just like old people. It was like photos of old people and like random people's like TikTok lives, and I was like, that's creepy. Like, what's going on? Why would you send that to people? And like basically my friend was saying that the whole reason that the lockdown was even a thing was because people were airdropping photos, and that they were trying to find out like who was in the school airdropping these photos. And I was like, what? That's wow. But I don't actually know if that was the actual reason why the lockdown was a thing. But yeah, let's go back to where we were. And you know, time just goes by and I'm just sitting there, and I got bored, so I was looking out the window to see the other classes, and I see someone's just doing Just Dance, and they were like, "Just Dance," you know. And I'm like, okay, like you guys are having fun while we're over here just sitting here. It was really boring. But you know, luckily we stayed safe, because who knows what could have happened. Oh my gosh, also something that happened was, you know how I told you guys the people who were working out, they had this ball and they were like playing catch. And I was like, if that ball hits me, I swear to God I would yell. I spoke too soon, because as soon as I said that in my head, the ball came flying towards me, hit me in my head, and the person was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I was like, I was just looking at them. I was mad because I was tired. I was mad. I wanted to leave so bad. And yeah, it was like really crazy. Speaking of leaving, I look over to the side and I see this group of girls, and they're really crazy, because they were like, "You know what, guys, I think I'm gonna sneak out." I see that the teacher's on his laptop, and just typing away, and I look over and I see the group of girls. They unlock the door, they open it, and they start walking outside. And I was like, "Girls, what are you guys doing?" Like, they're trying to die. Like, and then the teachers like walked by, yeah, and like caught them, and they had to come back in the classroom. So basically they got in trouble. And I was like, oh, that's some scary stuff. I could never do that. Anyway, and so we eventually got an email that you know, everything was safe and that we could come out. And basically after this we went straight to lunch, because unfortunately we did have the test after, and I was really sad. I was like, why do we have this test after we just were in lockdown for almost 3 hours? Like, what? And I was so confused, and I was really tired, and I was like, oh, whatever. At that time, you know, I was just walking around, looking around. Like, I came out of that classroom feeling like a different person. I don't know. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but I just felt different. I felt like I was like in a movie and like I survived, you know. I was just walking, and then I looked around and I was like, wow, this is such a different place. I went around to all my friends and I was talking to them and asking them how they felt about the lockdown. One of them were sleeping, one of them were watching movies, and one of them were just, you know, chilling, and like, y'all are boring. Anyway. We were at lunch, and after the lunch bell went, we had to go to our test, and it was the English test. And basically what we had to write in that test was just about a story, I think, that we created about loss. It was really boring. I was like looking for my classroom, because I think it was like C11, and I was like, girl, where is this building? I went around the whole school looking for this classroom, and I couldn't find it at all. I was literally lost. I was like, oh my gosh. So then I went to the stadium where everyone was, and I was like, wait, So was the test in here the whole time? I looked and I found like some of my friends, and I was like, girl, like where was this, like where's this building? And then they were like, oh, it's in here. And I was like, I wasted my time. I could have been sitting down, but no, I was looking for the stupid classroom that didn't even exist. But yeah, and then basically we took the test. I failed. I just know I failed. I didn't even finish the first paragraph. Like, actually I did. I didn't finish the second paragraph, so I just like gave up. But yeah, and I remember someone like whispered like something, and I looked around and I was like, what are y'all doing? And I just heard someone go like, what happens if we were in lockdown like during this whole test? And I was like, y'all better not drink it, because if that happens, I will walk home. I don't care if the killer's out there. I don't care if there's something out there. I will leave. But yeah, the test went smoothly. Everyone left, and I was walking to my locker, and the person that I was in the history class with came up to me and was like, how'd you do your test? And I was like, I failed. And they were like, ooh. It was funny. And I remember on that day, my dad took forever to pick me up. Forever. Like forever. And I was just walking. I walked around the whole entire school. I was like, is he gonna pick me up or not? And at that point I was like, should I just walk home? But then I didn't want to, because I didn't want to get lost, you know? I know where I'm going stuff, but like, you know me, like my brain will like take a turn and I would die halfway. He eventually came, and I told him, and I was like, you know, there's a school lockdown. And he was like, huh? I feel like none of the parents knew. Like none of the parents knew. And plus the police didn't even come, so like, this wasn't even on the news. Like no one knew about this. So it was kind of something suspicious about that. But anyway, yeah. And then the next day I didn't end up going to school because my dad was like, I don't feel safe taking you guys to school, blah blah blah. And then like the week after that, I went to school, and like it was like a happy ever after. But yeah, I still think about that day till today. Like it's kind of crazy how we got into a school lockdown. That was my first ever school lockdown that I ever experienced. It was really crazy. But yeah, at least now I can go around and tell people I was in a school lockdown, huh? So that's basically the end of today's video. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, then I'll probably put it in the comments. I don't know. But I don't think I did. So yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time. Let me know if you guys want any other story times, because I can definitely do that for you guys. And also make sure to comment down below any questions or any like literally anything. Like comment any questions, because I was kind of thinking of making a different video of answering you guys' assumptions of me, but I don't know. So put down questions if you guys want me to do that, and I can gladly do that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video, subscribe down below, comment anything, literally anything. You know, I want to see what you guys are up to. Make sure to follow all my social medias. It will be somewhere on the screen. Yes, I'm waiting. Go ahead. And don't forget, you guys are always welcome to stay. So if you want to stay, make sure you hit subscribe, and you're basically here. You know, let's chill together. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.